everyone, welcome back to Glue La La. If you are new here, my name is Jess. A few weeks ago I did a video and I made a set of coasters and I seemed to get a lot of positive responses to that set, so I thought it would be fun to do a whole video on just different ways to make inexpensive coasters for around your home or to give as a gift. Alright everyone, let's get started. For the first set of coasters, I am using 4 of these biscuit tiles that you can find at Lowe's or Home Depot or most home improvement stores. And then I also dug around in my scrapbook paper and I found a sheet that I really liked. So these tiles are about 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm cutting the scrapbook paper down to 4 by 4 inches. And the paper I'm using is actually double-sided. So I have this cute little garden print on one side, and then the back side of it is just kind of a wood grain print, so I decided to use both sides of the paper. Next, I cleaned off the tiles really well with some rubbing alcohol just to make sure there was no dust or anything on these. I had them in my stash for a while because I actually made sets of these coasters probably about 2 years ago now for some of the members of my family. And I'm using this dishwasher safe Mod Podge. Now, I don't plan on putting these in the dishwasher, but I bought this Mod Podge because I figured if it can stand being in the dishwasher, it could probably stand having hot cups set on it also. So all I did was I put a very light coat of the Mod Podge down first, and then I laid my scrapbook paper on top of it, and I kind of centered it in there just so there was a little bit of a border around the edge of the paper. And you can kind of see that border here better with this wood grain paper that's on the back side of the garden print. And then I just added another light coat of the Mod Podge over the top. Now, this Mod Podge says that you want to let it dry for 1 to 2 hours in between coats, and that it has to cure for 28 days. So I'm assuming that just means you need to cure it that long if you're going to put it in the dishwasher. And then to finish up these coasters, I'm just using some gray felt that I had in my stash, and I cut it down to 4 by 4 squares also, and then I just used a little bit of hot glue to adhere it to the back of the tiles. That way, since the back of the tiles is kind of rough because these are just ceramic tiles, it'll protect any surface that you put the tiles on. And I also want to mention that throughout the video, the 3 different sets of coasters I'm going to do, I did give all of them a coat of the same dishwasher safe Mod Podge. I only showed it to you on this one. And then after I had that felt into place, I just made sure that I added some hot glue in the corners just to make sure that it was really adhered down well. It was funny because when I dug these tiles out of my stash, I actually still had the receipt from when I bought them. And I did buy them in 2019, and at the time they were only 16 cents a piece. And I know building supplies have gone a little bit up in price lately, but I'm sure that they're still under $1 a piece. So this is a very inexpensive set of coasters to make, and it's nice because you could use scrapbook paper, you could use gift bags, anything that has a print on it that you like. I like using scrapbook paper, especially with Mod Podge, because I find that it tends to stay smoother than like magazine pages or like the calendars that you can get at the Dollar Tree. They always tend to wrinkle so much when you use Mod Podge, so that's why I prefer to use scrapbook paper. And there's so many different inexpensive options out there as far as scrapbook paper goes. I know Hobby Lobby usually has theirs on sale for 4 sheets for $1, I think. So I think this would make a really cute set for around your house or to give as a gift. For the second project, I'm using 12 of the tumbling tower blocks that you can find at the Dollar Tree. Now, this isn't my original idea. I've seen a lot of DIYers do this on their YouTube channels, like to make the base of this coaster. So to start out, I'm just gluing together bundles of 3 of the Jenga blocks. And then once I had all 12 of the blocks glued into bundles, I'm laying them opposite each other. So I glued a set of horizontal blocks next to a set of vertical blocks, and then I flipped it to glue those 2 sets together to make a square. And I think I originally saw Megan from Glue Guns and Roses do this type of coaster, so if I can find her video, I'll link it below. Then I just took my sanding block over the top of it it a little bit just to help even it out some. And then I wanted to do some sort of color blocking painting technique on mine. So I got out my painter's tape and I'm using this agave color by Waverly, which is actually one of my favorite colors. And I just feel like I don't use it enough. So I thought the coaster would be a great place to do it. So out of the 4 coasters that I made for this set, I just laid my painter's tape down in different patterns. I did one diagonal, I did one with 2 solid stripes, I did one that had a thick stripe going down the middle, and then I did another one that kind of had a triangle on the front. And then I just gave these one coat of the chalk paint. I thought that was enough. And then I took my Sharpie paint pen. Now this isn't a marker, it's actually a paint pen, and this is a metallic gold. And I just ran it along the edges of where I had painted. And I thought it just gave it a nice little finishing touch. And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, I did give these a set, or I did give this set a good coat of that dishwasher safe Mod Podge. Now on the coasters that I made, I only gave mine one coat, but I think if you were going to make some kind of set of coasters that you might put in the dishwasher, you probably would want to do 2 or 3 coats. And then to finish off the back of these coasters, I'm actually using the adhesive cork sheets from the Dollar Tree. And these coasters measured out to be about 3 3/4 square. So I cut mine down to 3.5 inches square. And now these are adhesive on the back, but I wanted to make sure that they were really going to hold up over time. So I did add just a little bit of hot glue to the back of my coasters before I put the cork squares down. I've mentioned it before, but I always use the Gorilla hot glue sticks, so I always feel confident that they do a pretty good job of holding everything together. But you could definitely use wood glue here too if you're more comfortable with that. Or I've even seen a lot of DIYers that do a combination of wood glue and hot glue. I just know I've always had really good luck with the Gorilla glue sticks. And I always have those linked in my description box too if you ever can't find those where you live. For the last set, I wanted to create a set of coasters that kind of had that pallet wood look, or like I guess maybe even a shiplap look. Now, I know the Dollar Tree sells mini pallets, but sometimes they're kind of hard to find. So I wanted to show you a way that you could kind of create your own. So you can see there, I just took 6 of the tower blocks and I glued them into 3 sets of 2. And then I'm using these larger craft sticks, the super jumbo craft sticks actually from Walmart, and I'm cutting these down to 3 3/4 inches because that's the same length as the tumbling tower blocks when they're glued end on end. And then all I had to do was hot glue each set of the tumbling tower blocks to the ends of the craft sticks, and I laid mine down pretty close together. You could leave a gap here, but the way that I wanted to decorate mine, I knew it would be a little bit difficult if there were gaps in between the sticks. That's why I chose to just lay mine down right next to each other. And you can see there, I did have to trim a little bit off of one of the sticks to get it to fit inside there. Then I took the 3rd set of the tower blocks and I put it in the center because it gave it more of that palette look, and it also made it a little bit more stable as well. And then I glued the 4 sticks onto the back side too. And I chose to leave mine natural, but you could paint these, you could stain them, whatever would fit your decor. Then using that gold paint marker again, I just wrote the word sip on the bottom edge of one of these coasters, and then I'll show you here in a little bit, I wrote another word on a second one. And then to decorate the other 2, I'm using these greenery rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree, and you can see that greenery wreath fits perfect in the center of these. That's why I didn't want to leave any gaps in between my sticks, because I knew I wanted to use these transfers, and I figured if there were gaps in there it might be a little bit hard to get those on there. So then for the other one, I just picked out some of the other little random pieces of greenery and I kind of laid those around until I liked how it looked. And then for the 4th coaster in this set, I decided to write out the word drink. And again, I did give these a coat of the dishwasher safe Mod Podge. And I didn't add a backing to these ones since the craft sticks were on the bottom. They usually don't have too many like sharp edges or anything like that, so I figured I didn't really need to add something on the bottom. I didn't think that they would really scratch any surfaces or anything like that. I wanted to show you how cute these are if you tie them up and you want to give them as a gift to somebody. You can see here I just used some chunky yarn, I used some ribbon, I used some jute twine, and I think these would make super cute gifts. Or I know in my area, since a lot of the restrictions have been lifted, a lot of the places are starting to do craft shows again. So if you like to set up at a craft show, I think coasters would be a great thing to sell at a craft show because they're pretty inexpensive to make and they're easy to customize as well. Here's a final look at all of the sets of coasters I did today. I think my favorite is probably this first set because anytime I have a reason to use up some of my scrapbook paper, I love it. Which actually, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see some paper crafting videos, because I have set up at craft shows before and I've done like personalized notebooks and journals, traveler's notebooks, mini albums, that kind of thing. So I do love to paper craft as well. So if that's something you'd be interested in seeing on my channel, let me know in the comments, because I've been thinking about maybe doing a few of those videos here and there. You'll have to let me know which one is your favorite too. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.